basically freed. Well, he's not going to be extradited. It's all live right now. Actually, he's not being extradited, which is good news. Hang on a minute. Let me just sort this out. Ooh. Right. Okay. So sorry about the distraction, but it's live and I can't really pause it. It's on abruptly at the moment. Anyway, so I split the cores, I cut them in half, and there's the plastic that they were in down here. I cut them apart with a hacksaw, took the cores out after I split them. I put them in the new corner assemblies. I put the end cap on there, which is on this side. I've used some acetone to bind the plastic onto the assembly. This is the other side panel that will go on this one. So I put the cores in. That's what it basically looks like, and it's pretty flush, so that's good. So the next step is to simply put these corners on like that, and then use some acetone and squeeze it in the vise to bind these edges here to bind. Oh my YouTube keeps getting stuck. To bind these edges on to the cover, and then I'll stick it in the vise and it becomes one piece. And so what I've got to do now is take this over to the vise in the other room, and hopefully I've ground off the bit of material that was kind of flared out. You can't really see it now because I've ground a lot of the flared material off that was there, which was causing me an issue. So if I take this into the other room where it's a bit quieter, because I've got Rupley on YouTube right now. Right, so straight on me. I'm going to try and, oops, oh, tripping over everything. I've got my G-clamp in here, which is awkward. I needed that as well because I had to clamp it in two different directions, which was bloody awkward. So what I have to do now is put this in the vise like this. I can't do this with one hand. Just a minute, let me just see if I can nip it up a bit without. Right, so I've got to clamp it up to pinch it in a bit. It needs to be a bit further down actually. Let me just, oops, my hammer's got, how on earth does that happen? Piece of paper gets wedged in between my hammer. Right, so I'll tap that down a bit, make sure it's flush, and get my corner, and let's look at the gap. Is there a gap? Not really. So I get my acetone. Oops, don't want too much acetone. Right, now I'll stick my corner on. I could use super glue, but it's too quick. Everything happens too quickly with super glue. So I stick it on like that, and because it's acetone, it gives me movement. I can move things around a bit, and ideally I clamp it the other side, oops, in the other direction as well, but I can't really do that right now, so I've got to let it dry a bit. because it leaves it kind of soft, so I can move it around without too much of a problem. Let's just check the other direction. It looks good. So I'm basically just going to leave that like that now while it dries, because in theory I could always heat this up and clamp it in the other direction later on to get it to seat better, but I think that's good. And later on I'm going to be grinding this face flat, because this is hacksawed off. If you look how flat that is, it's not bad at all. That face, it's not bad at all, but I'll be grinding that on my grinder just to get a really nice flat face to intersect with the ferrite rings. So yeah, you've seen I didn't film the other two, so I thought, well, I need to film at least one so I could see how I do it. Then it's encapsulated in plastic, then nothing will move. Well, I'll go in the other room and show you. That bit there intersects with the with these things. They basically sit on the end, and then I've got to squeeze these on as well with the vice, push them on. I've already test fitted them, they fit alright. There's the other one. You can see the acetones. Kind of made them a bit translucent actually, but right, so anyway, after I take out the vice, I just leave this clip on there just temporarily while it dries out a bit. But I can't really put those things on until I've ground the face flat on the grinder, so that's going to come a bit later. But if you look at that, my hacksaw guide that I had on those jigs was extremely accurate. Look how flat that is. That, considering that was all cut with a hacksaw, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty good. It's not bad at all. I only have to face it off a little bit. I mean, that's not bad at all considering that was all cut with a hacksaw blade, and a pretty narrow one at that. So obviously once I face it up on the grinder, it will be done. So anyway, I thought I'd film that and show you it. Yeah, good news for Julian Assange. Very good news. I've been watching this for the past hour or so. I don't suppose I'll get any copyright strikes on it because it's not music, it's just news. So yeah. So I'm sure that's going to be splashing all over the media right now. Anyway, I'm sure you can go and look it up, read about it. But yeah, apparently he was not extradited based on health grounds, because his health is pretty bad at the moment, not very good. And they don't anticipate he would survive in prison, especially if he was to be extradited to the USA. They said that the conditions there would not be ideal and not suitable or something. Anyway, it got off on health grounds, which is good news. Well, because he should be freed anyway. I think he's going to be out on bail apparently. So, because there's recent evidence that come out that actually shows that he's not responsible for the leaks anyway. The actual leak, he warned. Anyway, I'm sure you can find it out. He actually warned the US about these leaks that were coming. They could have done something about it, but they didn't. Oh well. I don't really want to get into political stuff anyway, to be honest with you, but this is all what we're hearing on the internet. Anyway, thanks for watching.